I was a huge fan of the first Sinister film, and I still consider it to be one of the best and most scary horror film that was released in the last 10 years. Needless to say, I was highly anticipating the sequel ever since it was announced after the first one turned out to be another successful film for the dominating horror force that is the Blumhouse production company. I did watch it in cinemas upon release last year, but never got around to doing a review for it, so I figured this would be a good time to revisit it. Sinister 2 tells the story of Courtney and her two sons, who are on the run from her abusive husband, who has also hired private detectives to force her to return to their home. Courtney seeks refuge in an abandoned farmhouse that are next to a building that used to be a church. What she doesn't know though is that this place has a grisly history that is marked to repeat itself. While being in hiding, she gets a guest visit one day by a former deputy turned private investigator, who is interested in the history of the house and the church. He suspects that there is an evil entity out for Courtney's children, and he will find out that he has little time to find out how to stop it before both him and Courtney's family will feel the wrath of the evil entity only known as Bughuul. We already know after watching the first film that the evil entity called Bughuul uses the children for his devilish havoc, and this film explores just how that works from the children's perspective. This gives us a great deal of scenes with Courtney's two children, Dylan and Zach, interacting with the ghosts of other children that has been used by Bughuul to slaughter their own families. These scenes become a bit repetitive, and it takes away any chance for the dead kids being scary or unpleasant, as they get way too much screen time. And yeah, rarely are kids able to carry a film, and this is not an exception. I did not like any of the kid actors here at all, and although I'm sure they were trying their best, I would be kind of a prick if I criticized them too much for their effort, as they are, in fact, children. The film becomes a bit of a kids versus the adults, and the fact that there is a big cornfield outside of the farmhouse makes it easy to think back of the Children of the Corn movies. Perhaps Bughuul is actually he who walks behind the rose from that series, and that will be a funny twist to both of their stories. As with the dead children, Bughuul himself is also being shown way too often front and center on the screen, taking away his mystique and ability to scare the audiences that worked so well in the first film. One thing that did bring the horror in the first one was of course the brutality that we witnessed in the kill videos. The kill videos are short films where we see how different families are getting killed off, and in the first Sinister they are absolutely gruesome to watch. They are still creative this time around, but here they lack the same grittiness and shock value, even though some of them are quite effective. They're just not on the same level as the tapes from the first film. Other than these scenes, there are only a small amount of scenes that provide any type of tension or fright from the audience, which is bound to leave a big amount of the audience disappointed, as most will likely expect more from the scare department. The fact that the film isn't able to build up any decent tension comes from it being very uneven, going directly from scenes to scenes that are very different in mood. The way the film is edited together feels a bit weird to me, and it makes me wonder if the production went as smoothly as it should have. It is also very unsatisfying that they couldn't deliver more scenes of fright with this one, and I did leave the experience disappointed in the fact that there are hardly any scenes that got to me. Again, unlike the first Sinister. What I liked the most in this film was surprisingly enough the two main adult characters. Shannyn Sossamon as Courtney and James Ransone returning as Deputy So-and-so from the first story. They both make the characters feel very real, and they have a great chemistry together. There is depth to the characters and they feel different from the common adult characters we see in these films, which was a nice change for once. The director of Sinister 2 is the Irishman Ciaran Foy. He actually got the job after becoming friendly with the director of the first one and the screenwriter for this one, Scott Derrickson, over Twitter. Derrickson had praised Foy's previous film Citadel, and Foy replied with a thanks, and that was pretty much the start for him getting a job on this film. Sinister 2 was a bit of a letdown, to be honest. I was hoping for more and expected more from this potential franchise. It is not a bad film, but it has too many flaws and lacks scares. I do hope that they will give it a new chance with a third film, as I still do believe that there are potential to make another good film with this concept, but next time, please deliver a more coherent story. Sinister 2 is not terrible by all means, but sadly just average, and that's why it gets so disappointing. 2.5 out of 5 from me. So, Sinister 2, did it do it for you? Or were you also disappointed by this? Do you want this to become a trilogy, or should you just let it rest in peace? Let me know in the comment section below, and subscribe for more horror movie reviews coming to this channel in the near future. Thank you for watching.